whoever placed the last stone takes the first turn. So the dark player placed the last stone, so the dark player is going to take the first turn. On your turn, you'll place one tile on the board and move one of your stones. So the rules for tile placement are, first, that the tile must be connected to one of your stones that's on the board. So for example, it's now Light's turn, so I couldn't place a tile here because that's not connected to any of the stones. I could place a tile here because that is connected to my stones, and then I can move a stone, for example, right there. And you can only move a stone to tiles that are connected to the stone that you're moving. So I couldn't pick the stone up and move it across the board there, for example. And my opponent's stones will block my connections. So even though there is a line of tiles running to this space, I can't move through my opponent's stones. So this stone is going to move there because I want to block dark from getting to this area of the board. The second rule for tile placement, there's only two. The first one is that it has to be connected to one of your stones. The second rule is that no tile can ever touch more than 3 other tiles. So it's now dark's turn, and for example, this would be an illegal move because this tile is touching 1, 2, 3, 4 other tiles. This tile as well is touching 1, 2, 3, 4 other tiles, and no tile on the board can ever touch more than 3 other tiles. So dark could, for example, go here because this space is connected to one of its stones, and it does not cause any tile on the board to be next to more than 3 other tiles. And this is also a good move because one of the other things you can do in the game is remove your opponent's stones from the board. And the way you do that is if the opponent's stone is isolated and it has a clear path to 2 tiles that are occupied by your stone. So right now, this light stone has a clear path to 1 tile that's occupied by dark stone. But if dark moves this stone here, then this light stone is isolated from the other stones and it has a clear path to 2 tiles with dark stones on them. And now dark can remove light's stone. So this is not great for light, but it's not so bad. And actually, light can turn around and recapture one of dark's stones. Because on your turn, if any of your stones have been removed, you return them to the board on the tile that you place on your next turn. So light could, for example, return its stone there, and then move it there, and dark stone is removed. See, this stone is removed because it has a clear path to 1, 2 tiles that have light stones on them. This stone is not removed because it only has a path to 1 tile that has a light stone on it. So this dark stone is removed. Now it's dark's turn. Well, dark will return this stone to the board on this turn. And so dark will want to reinforce one of these other stones. So remember, you can only remove an isolated stone. So if dark makes sure that their stones are not isolated, then they can't be removed by light. So where does dark want to reinforce? Well, you really have 3 basic choices. You could reinforce this stone by moving here or here. And if you move here, obviously all 3 of the stones will be together, so that looks like a pretty good move. But you could also move over here And then you would not only reinforce this stone, but you would have access to this open territory here. And at this point, you might be wondering, what is the goal of the game? What am I even doing here? Well, the goal of the game is to be the last player who is able to place a tile. So as soon as your opponent cannot place a tile on the board, you've won the game. So what this means is that you're trying to block your opponent from accessing open territory on the board. And right now, the situation looks pretty good for the light player because there's all this open territory over here and dark is stuck on this side of the board. So if dark makes a play over here, dark can try to get around to this area of the board, right? So you might be saying, well, isn't dark's other stone over here isolated and can be captured by white? Well, yes, but remember, no tile can be touching more than 3 other tiles. This tile here is already touching these 3 tiles, so these spaces are blocked and no tiles can be placed there. If light wants to get around to capture this stone, it has to go around this way. So it's going to be at least 2 turns before light can capture this stone. So there's no need to reinforce it right now. By making this play and moving its stone here to this tile, dark can try to escape from this bad situation that it's in. Light can reply by this play, for example, to try to stop dark from going around. Dark might try to connect over here to access this area. Light could block them there. Now dark might play here to try to get around, but it can't, because even if it plays here, this tile is now next to 1, 2, 3 other tiles. So these spaces cannot have any tiles placed in them. They're blocked. So it looks like things are pretty bad for dark, and indeed, if white just does really nothing except place a couple tiles over here, it's won the game in 1 turn. So with good play, light has won the game in this position because dark is blocked here, and blocked here by light stones at these choke points. But let's say that light doesn't play well. Let's say that light blunders. Light gets greedy and says, aha, I can capture this stone. Ha, I'm definitely going to win, so I'm just going to rub it in his face, right? I'm going to, let's say I place a tile over here because I have all this space, doesn't matter where I go, and then I move over here, and now look, in addition to winning all this territory, I've captured dark stone. Well, remember, dark will return the stone to the board on its next turn. Dark's only move is here. The stone returns, and now it can move. Because you place a tile and you move your stone. And all of these tiles are now connected because light has opened up this area by its attempt to capture on the last turn. So now, dark can capture light's stone here. Well, now light is in a bad position because now dark has broken light's barrier and has access to all this area. Well, let's say that light tries to recover its position by placing tile here, returning its stone, and maybe trying to move up here to block dark from accessing this area. Light's kind of panicking at this moment, not playing particularly well, so dark can again come around here. Capture light's stone. And you might be saying, well, dark has given light access to all this territory here, but keep in mind, the goal of the game is to be the last player able to make a move, and all of this territory here is useless because there are no moves available. Dark has pivoted around behind light to take this territory where all of the open moves are. And now, indeed, we see that light wants to return this to the board because it's light's turn, but light has no moves available. Light is blocked here, here, and here by dark stones, and all of the open spaces that are available to light are next to a tile that already touches 3 other tiles. Here, for example, these 2 tiles already touch 3 other tiles, so these are blocked. Obviously, placing there, the tile would touch 6 other tiles. Here, 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 and here are all blocked for light. So in this position, light has blundered its way into losing the game. So I hope that this has shown you some of the tactics and some of the possibilities in the game. If you want to play the game, it's available on Tabletopia and Tabletop Simulator. There are links in the description. On Tabletopia, you can actually play for free in your browser without buying any software. And I hope you enjoy the game. I hope you have some fun with it. Thanks a lot.